This episode of Midlife Crisis is brought to you by John Scheepers Beauty from Bulbs, John Scheepers Kitchen Garden Seeds, and Van Engelen Wholesale Flower Bulbs. Hello! And on this episode of Midlife Crisis, we will be planting garlic, setting up a bulb cutting garden, talking about Eremurus, doing something with glass gem corn, I'm not sure yet, cooking up some spaghetti squash, and I forgot one. No, I didn't. Stay tuned. Good morning. It is a bracing 40 degrees out, but I promised myself I'd wear this dress for this shoot. I'm freezing my dupa off. Let's plant some Eremurus. I'll put the coffee down. Everyone asks me what my favorite plant is, which is like, what's your favorite kid? Mine is Hazel, but Eremurus is something that it's like a plant that I thought I could have. Eremurus is a plant that I thought I couldn't have, and it turns out that I can. It's traffic. I always feel like such a dork standing out here in my yard talking to myself. It doesn't stop me, but... So I planted Eremurus 6 years ago, and I planted it on this slope. And I think that that's the secret of my success, because I usually can't grow them very successfully in our clay Illinois soil. But the drainage on this slope is a magical spot for a lot of different things. So I planted my Eremurus over there before. I'm gonna plant some on the same terroir over here and hope for success. My Eremurus is easily 7 foot tall. I have Romance over there, and the clump has grown so nicely over the years, so I really get like 12 to 13 flower towers. I'm low on coffee. It is early. Flower towers. Sounds funny if you keep saying it, doesn't it? So this is an Eremurus corm. It looks kind of evil, right? And we're just gonna stick this puppy in the ground, and that's it. I have a bunch I got from Van Engelen bulbs, the wholesale flower bulbs, and here's what I know. Here's the top. You can see the top right here. You see the top? It took some doing to find the top. Here's what I know. Plants want to grow, and the universe wants them to grow. All you have to do is give them the bare minimum of what they need, and they will do the rest. I feel like people most often kill plants either from outright neglect or giving plants too much of what they need, like too much water or some stupid fertilizer. Don't give your plants stupid fertilizer. Give them good fertilizer. So let's stick this in the ground. Okay, I know you can't see the hole up here, but it is a good 6 inches deep. Put the corm in with the buds on top. And like, no one would ever want to pay me to dig a hole because I'm terrible at it, but as terrible at digging holes as I am, why do my flowers always come up? You know what I mean? I think Mother Nature meant squirrels and raccoons to plant plants, and I am technically part raccoon. So that was it. No big deal. No mystery, other than this awesome dress. You should plant Eremurus. You should give it a try. Just because you think you can't doesn't mean you should just give up before you try. And even if you tried, I am now like the most successful Eremurus farmer in the planet. Okay, that might be overstepping it. Give me my coffee back. I am the most important successful Eremurus farmer on my street and in my town. And it was like my 6th try, and I'm so glad I kept trying. You've got to have things in your life that you feel that way about. Aren't you so glad you kept trying? I am going to go inside now and warm up because it is 40 degrees out. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this space until right now. I'm gonna turn this into a cutting garden, just a small one, and I'm gonna start it out with spring bulbs. Most people don't think of adding spring bulbs to your cutting garden, but damn, it's a good idea, right? It is, I know. Because I knew I wanted to turn this bed into something, but I wasn't sure what. I did some things to help me prepare. It looks pretty good, right? I didn't do any weeding. There's some encroachment here on the sides. Here's what's going on here. Such gross carpeting, but oh my gosh, they did such a great job. Look at all this creeping Charlie that's growing in the carpeting, and look what's behind me. It's like nice and clean, and I'm just gonna remove all the carpeting, push the mulch back, and run a fresh edge on this, and we'll get to bulb planting. That John Scheepers, Beauty from Bulbs, sent me to plant in my cutting garden. My pronunciation for bulbs is twice as bad as my pronunciation for perennials and shrubs and trees, so bear with me. Here we have Camassia cusickii, and that is blooming in May and June, 24 to 30 inches, wisteria blue. In the soup it goes. Tulip acuminata, that's a species tulip, April bloom, 14 to 16 inches, yellow to scarlet. So my goal is to make a nice mix. Here we have Tulip rococo, that's a parrot tulip, May bloom, 14 inches, red, purple, green. I believe that when I saw the photo of this one, I was like, no way. Here we have Ornithogalum ponticum Sochi. That's a June bloom, 24 inches, white. You can laugh at my pronunciation if you think you can do better. And that's the only person that can laugh. Tulip akibono, giant Darwin hybrid, mid-April, 22 inches. Double yellow with red edge. That sounds really sexy. Big fat bulbs making me happy. Narcissus canaliculatus, a miniature narcissus, April, 6 inches, white and yellow. Sounds cute. Allium sicillum bulgaricum. This is like the prettiest. This is Allium sicillum bulgaricum, my favorite allium, I think. May, June bloom, 32 to 36 inches, greenish white. It's weird with tinges of purple. It's a really weird one. It's really cool. And it goes. Tulip Sunset Miami, super gorgeous, May bloom, 16 to 18 inches, pink, magenta, apricot yellow. That's a lot of colors, so it's gotta be good. Normally I'd really be weird about colors and like I'm a walking color wheel, and but with this cutting garden I feel a lot of freedom to just kind of go nuts. Narcissus rainbow of colors, split cup narcissus, April bloom, 16 inch, white with yellow, orange, pink collar. It changes color as it ages. I also change color as I aged. Narcissus cassata, split cup narcissus, April bloom, 16 to 18 inches, greenish white or white. And in we go. Tulip Dasystemon. Species tulip, 6-inch April bloom, yellow white. It sounds, even though there was no information at all, I have a feeling it's one of the more interesting ones in here. Tulip, green wave, parrot tulip, late May bloom, 20 inches, mauve, green, pink. That's a, that one probably was too good for a cutting garden. It should have gone up by my front door, but here it is anyways. A narcissus, sunny side up, split cup narcissus, April bloom, 14-16 inches, white yellow. Narcissus Sherborne, double narcissus, April May bloom, 14 to 16 inches, golden yellow orange. Wait, was that the color I was just talking about? I have a feeling not. You know which one I'm talking about. Tulip Estella Reinveld, parrot tulip, May, 22 inches, red white. Sounds gorgeous. Narcissus Rapture. This is a cyclaminius narcissus. April bloom, 10 to 12 inches, golden yellow. My soup! My love my soup! Oh my god. I think I just gave into some, I don't know what. Narcissus down the Shaw. Double narcissus, May, 16 to 18 inches, white apricot pink. Don't tell everybody, but you're my favorite. And that's it for my soup. Now, is this tray too heavy to, it might be. If it's too heavy, I might put my whole soup into this, you can't really fully see it, but you will in the next frame. This is a stroller stolen from the Brookfield Zoo. I didn't steal it. I might be temporarily in charge of it right now. So I'll put my soup into the stroller. Yeah, they didn't all make it. In the next frame, they'll all make it. So I am gonna shock you at how I'm just gonna toss these puppies into these trenches. I'm not gonna do a lot of arranging. I'm just gonna make sure that the biggest bulbs are in the deepest parts of the trench because it's uneven, and the smallest bulbs are on the highest parts. I'm gonna recover it with soil and mulch, and I probably won't even cart these rugs out of here today because I'm low on battery. Yo, here it goes. So that's it, I'm gonna put the soil over it now. Some of you are saying that's never gonna work, and I'm gonna tell you, just wait and see, it absolutely will. Secondly, if a squirrel can plant a tulip, so can you. So here we go. For years, I have been discouraging homeowners from growing sweet corn at home. And here's the reason why. I live in the Midwest. I live in Chicago, just outside of Chicago. And farmers who specialize in growing sweet corn grow some sweet corn for us. And it is like, get 5 years of corn for $1. Unless you're living on several acres and you have a lot of time to dedicate to it, growing sweet corn is just, it's too cheap to just buy good sweet corn at a farmer's market. Sweet corn is like the champagne of corns. It's harder to grow. It has more hoops to jump through. It's not how corn originally was when they first discovered corn. Which is why this year I grew some ornamental corn, popcorn, Indian corn. This is super easy. This stuff wanted to grow. I just planted it. The seed was old. It was sent to me by John Scheepers to try. I didn't use it last year when it was fresh. I used it this year, and I was just like, heck, let's give it a try and see what happens. It made my heart grow 3 times bigger than it was previously. I've enjoyed this so much. So this is glass gem corn. Let's pick up an ear of it and experience the awesomeness that is glass gem corn. Holy crap. I did nothing for this. I did no fertilizing, no, I didn't do the corn fertilizing. I didn't use any fertilizer. I didn't even water it. I didn't take care of it. Growing corn is one of those things that really makes your vegetable garden look like a vegetable garden, and growing sweet corn, it just lures raccoons and skunks and I don't know, other creatures that eat sweet corn. I just didn't have any of those problems with this. And check this out. Isn't that just gorgeous? I am about to harvest all the sweet corn here, or I didn't say sweet. I mean, this corn is sweet, but it's not sweet corn. It's glass gem ornamental corn. I'm about to harvest all this ornamental corn, and I'm going to cut the stalks and make autumnal decorations. And I have something special planned with these. But if you grew this and you didn't know what to do with it, one really cool thing you could do that I'm not going to do with it this time is you can soak these overnight in water, and with a needle and thread you can make them into really cute jewelry. Not doing that this time, but I'm going to show you what I am going to do with them this time. Observe the wonderment. So I harvested all my glass gem corn, and I soaked it in some very strong fabric dye overnight because I'm obsessed with turquoise and teal and aqua, blue green and green blue. And this is what I got out of it. I think it's kind of a cool effect. My hands have been blue for 3 days. I'm gonna work on wiring them to a pool noodle to see if I can make a cool mantle design, but I don't think we're gonna get to that in this episode. You don't wanna leave your corn to soak in fabric dye for too long. I would say probably just a couple hours, not overnight, because if you soak it overnight, you are halfway to making some kind of neon colored corn liquor. So unless you've got a permit for that, you probably don't want to do that. Here's what it looks like up close. Look. Probably do a shot of how this looks on my door or something, I don't know, but look at those pretty corns and this color. Excuse the mess. We finally got a real frost. It's time to actually clean this stuff up. But in the meantime, I'm planting some garlic and shallots. This is early Italian purple garlic from John Scheepers Kitchen Garden Seeds. And this is French red shallots. Man, if you're not growing shallots, I hope you're at least eating them, because what's better than shallots? Nothing, by the way, nothing. So, I grew garlic for the first time last year, and I'm just sick that I haven't been doing this for 37 years. It is so easy, and I can demystify it for you somewhat, but I also just recently watched on Netflix this docu-series called Rotten, or Rotted, I'm not sure. And one of the episodes is about garlic, and they talk about people in prison in China that are forced to peel garlic, so that you buy that peeled garlic in the store, and they're forced to peel garlic for 8 hours a day and to ship here, and their nails fall off from all the peeling, and so they peel the garlic by biting it with their teeth to get it started. And I'll just grow my own garlic, thank you. I will just grow my own garlic. So you put it in the ground this time of year, something to get you out of the house, keep you busy. You get it like this, and you break it into little pieces, and we'll pop this in the ground, and that's it. And then you harvest in July-ish. I harvested mine in July. You're supposed to cure it then for, I believe, 4 weeks. I think I cured mine for a little bit longer. I think you're supposed to put it on like a screen so that it can stay cool and dry. I, of course, harvested it and put it on a sled and kept it in the shade out of the rain. And I am still eating that fresh garlic that I grew since July. It's now the end of October, and I have plenty more to get me through. Of course, I love garlic. I don't just like garlic. I go through it pretty fast, and I still have a lot. And I still have a lot of shallots that I harvested as well. Sometimes words fail me. So just gonna do a quick demo on how to plant this, because I'm running out of, how long can this show be, really? So let me try to stay on camera. I'm just gonna use my Weasel edger, which I use for everything, so it's perfect. And this is not probably where I'm gonna grow garlic, but I guess I'm gonna grow this here. I like growing garlic in a row right next to where my tomatoes are gonna go next year, because the garlic will get harvested by the time the tomatoes get big. And I also think that the garlic helps keep the critters away from the tomatoes. I mean, that seems like common sense, and it may just be witchcraft in my head, not even real, but it doesn't really matter because I'm doing it anyways. So that's it. You just kind of bust it up and put it in every couple inches apart, and boop, 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 all done. Every website is going to tell you to put mulch on top of it. My garden already has a fine coat of wood chip mulch, which is probably not what they're talking about, but that's gonna have to do. And it worked really well for me last year, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's, and planting Shallots. I just came from my friend Charlotte's house. Hi, Charlotte. Planting shallots is the same. It's even easier because you don't really have to break them apart. Let's pop into it just to make sure. So you just pop one of these in the ground. And some people would say, you know, make sure to plant it up. I don't do anything. I let Mother Nature sort it out. And I have all my things grow. So if it works for me, it'll probably work for you, right? So I harvested all my glass gem corn, and I soaked it in some very strong fabric dye overnight because I'm obsessed with turquoise and teal and aqua, blue green and green blue. And this is what I got out of it. I think it's kind of a cool effect. My hands have been blue for 3 days. I'm gonna work on wiring them to a pool noodle to see if I can make a cool mantle design, but I don't think we're gonna get to that in this episode. You don't wanna leave your corn to soak in fabric dye for too long. I would say probably just a couple hours, not overnight, because if you soak it overnight, you are halfway to making some kind of neon colored corn liquor. So unless you've got a permit for that, you probably don't want to do that. Here's what it looks like up close. Look. Probably do a shot of how this looks on my door or something, I don't know, but look at those pretty corns and this color. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna super short make a video about spaghetti squash. This is Hazel. She's gonna be helping. I am not 100% certain that I have anything to add to the world of spaghetti squash, but I'm going to try. That's not going to stop me from trying. Okay, common knowledge is that you cut a spaghetti squash in half, you lay it on a baking pan, and you let it cook for days. I do mine different. I do cut wide rings. Oh, it fell in the sink. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Okay.
I'm gonna make sure they don't fall.
Yeah, make sure they don't fall. And then I use a grapefruit spoon to scoop out the center. Takes just a second. And then I put it's okay, Hazel, thank you. I put the center.
I do one.
I don't know about that, bud. I put the center in the compost, and this ensures that I'll have spaghetti squash for the rest of my life. And then I rub a piece of garlic, fresh cut.
Can I rub it?
Yeah, you can rub it. I just rub the garlic all over. You're gonna smell like garlic forever. Rub the garlic all over the piece of spaghetti squash, and then I put it on a baking tray that's got a little bit of olive oil on it.
I can smell
this. And this cooks up, don't touch this, okay, baby? Okay. This cooks up faster than that half thing. Also, more of the moisture comes out, and if you have grown, thank you, baby. If you've grown spaghetti squash at home, you know it just has more moisture in it than one that's been sitting around at the store. So I like doing this. Also, the grain of this, you get longer pieces of spaghetti because you're cutting it this way instead of just half pieces of spaghetti. So if I use my spoon again, there you go. Look at all that gorgeous spaghetti squash, and it's slightly garlicky, just slightly. And then all you have to do is mix it in with some goat cheese, and you got a party.
No, I'm gonna get the goat cheese.
We don't have any goat cheese.
I know we do. I make it sound like we do.
Clever girl.